All three of you have sons who are quite old now, right? Two of them are 24, one is 18. What have been the more difficult years, and how did you get through that? Ajay?
Yeah, actually, Siddharth is 18 now, 18 plus. So the time I would divide his time on Earth in three phases. One is maybe from 2 to 8, 9, then from 9 to around 14, and then 14 to 18. Because he was having issues. We were having a fantastic home-based therapy program with some of the best therapists that I have ever seen to date. And she used to just have only natural environment play. We used to pay a lot of money, and she used to just be laughing and giggling and playing with him, and we used to wonder where this money is going. But I thank her for giving us that direction. It was not any kind of desktop DTT, and all those things, and so it was perfect. But over the time, we did put him. We decided to do home-based therapy because we did not recognize the school's capabilities to help him at that stage. So when we realized the school had the capability, we sent him to that school for 2 years. But he had several setbacks, and he was getting, I think, moving into the prepubescent, pubescent stages where it really hit the high notes, you could say, in terms of irritability, anger, and all those things. So then our world sort of collapsed a bit, and we decided that I took premature retirement from the Navy at that time, and we decided to come back to Cochin to sort of contain this thing, and also to make sure that his relatives knew who he was, because we didn't want to be in some other satellite place and then they don't know who he is. Mm. And then we did a lot of allopathy, which was not working to the extent we thought it would, because he was on a whole bunch of allopathic medicines, and it was difficult. He still was not, his anger did not come down. He was in a stupor. He was in a, narcotic haze, but he was not nothing else. And we were, when we were younger parents, we were of the opinion that we should never sedate the mind we want to awaken. Right. So we were of the non-using of allopathic medicines at that time. But when things really came to a head, and it was either institutionalization or allopathy, we went there, and then we sort of, after some time, we moved into another kind of a system of medicine, and we removed all the allopathy. Now he is in a very beautiful space. He has his problems, which we understand are actually our problems of not understanding him rather than his problems of communication, because we are not that smart parents. He's able to try and get us to understand, and I can see the exasperation in his face when he finally gets us to understand what he's saying. So I think we need to learn. We'll keep learning from him. So right. That's the third phase, which is actually in a good place right now. Yeah.
Right. Ram, from your perspective, what were the most difficult years?
Yeah, I would say that first set of years was between the ages 6 and 12 for Nishant. 6 and 12 was extremely challenging because there was so many therapies, and each place we had to go. I mean, Akila was rushing between one therapy to another, and there was and Nishant actually had regressed in speech. I mean, he was working out well, and then after that, again it was picking up while when Akila was expecting a second child. It was picking up a bit, and again it regressed. So there was a strange sense of hope that there is a possibility that he will speak, versus, okay, what are the other therapies which everybody is recommending? I mean, it is like OT and PT and then sensory integration therapy, and then there is school and
Right.
accommodation in school, and then driving around between those therapies, etc. They were a very difficult situation, and somewhere during the course of that time, he picked up certain um, mm, his way of communicating dislike or distrust or anything was self-injurious, and that behavior sort of like escalated to a great extent, and we were finding it extremely challenging.
Mm.
Okay, and we didn't know whether to use what kind of medication to use, whether to sedate him or to bring about. And finally, I think we took a that's the time we did a stint in the US, and we went to the US hoping that biomedical will have some kind of support. I mean, it will support us at that point of time. But that was also proving to be very, very, it was somehow we felt a little torturous with the biomedical interventions. And we probably tried everything.
Mm.
And then finally, we hit upon a couple of medications like risperidone. And then after that, he calmed down a bit, and we were slowly being able to make him to communicate. And we were able to understand him to a great extent. I mean, what were the trigger points? What are the
Right.
points when he would become a little aggressive? And how do we manage our flow of life along with his flow of life? And that's how things started moving well. The second phase was when between 18 and 20, when I think some gut-related issues came up, and it took us some time to identify those that it was gut-related issues.
Mm.
In fact, Akila had read up quite a lot on all this, and finally we hit upon that there was a lot of parasites in the stomach, and we need to do some flushing out. Hit
Mm.
upon a protocol, and we started using the protocol, and that was like a savior. And I think from the first time, that was in 2014, and then gradually that. So we are at a stage now where okay, Nishant is ready. We are able to understand him. But yes, there were two very distinct phases, and they were tough.
Mm.
Those were very difficult for
Right.
both him and as well as us. Yeah.
Right. Right. Thanks. Ashok, did you have any
Yeah,
specific moments?
uh, in fact, when you said the difficulties, I will put it as a more challenging.
Mm.
The challenges were different at different level of the time. Initially, thought that challenges will be little low, but yes, when he was diagnosed on this thing, he was at Aurangabad. And first till age of 5 years, definitely I was in a mode of denial that no, he may not have anything. Because most of our family members saying that some children speak little late, even till the age of 5 years, some people start speaking. So we were also waiting. Luckily, again, when we had gone back to Aurangabad, there was this one gentleman who was a special educator, though he was in vernacular medium. We tried it, and touch wood, luckily, he, for 2 months therapy, aggressive therapy in the room. I don't know how many kicks he must have got from Aditya for making him speak. But luckily, he started speaking, and later on, in fact, he has become hyperverbal. And after that, yes, it was once he was speaking all these things. We had schooling initial days. It was academic, which were popping up. Those challenges were there. Uh, After that, we started changing our priorities. We made our priorities according to the need of the child, his likings and all. So we kept the priority of academic on the side. We started doing more of his extracurricular activities and socialization, which definitely helped him to improve more in that area, including his communication level. Yes, but with the age advances, your expectation increases, and when the expectation increases, challenges are going to remain. Maybe its status or it may increase.